First of all, let me tell you this. Days ago when I posted on my Instagram story like some of the food items that I brought, people were like, how? You came with this? Hey, Nigerians. Like, some people were shading me. Some people were like, wow, good job. And then I just figured, like, with the questions I was getting, I just figured that people actually do not know what's legal. You're welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time of being here, thank you for clicking this video and you're sure welcome. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel to enjoy more content from me, Titi Lola, from Airdrie, about my life as a Canadian immigrant. So I live in Airdrie, Alberta. I moved here some months ago from Toronto, and in my previous videos I've talked about like life in Canada as a Nigerian immigrant. So if that's the type of content you're interested in, please feel free to subscribe to my channel before you leave today. In today's video, you can see I'm in my kitchen. I'm filming here for the first time. And yeah, I'm hoping that what I'm about to say to you is of interest, because I feel like I needed to film this video because of the reactions I got after like posting the food items I brought back from Nigeria. So I recently just got back from Nigeria. I went to Nigeria for my mom's 6th birthday. It was the first time I was returning back home after 6 years. Yes, a really long time. And I mean, as a Nigerian who, like, I'm Nigerian to the core, something that's very, like, important to me is my Nigerian food. Like, you can't take me anywhere and not give me Nigerian food, right? So living in Canada and not really having easy access to Nigerian food, or you know what, when I was in Toronto, I can't even lie, like, you have Nigerian foods, like tons of them, tons of options to choose from. However, they're really expensive. Now, moving from Toronto to Airdrie even gives me like more limited options, because like I think there are about just a few. I can't even give a number because, well, from my knowledge as of right now, I only know 2 African stores. And one is actually not a store, it's a person that sells African foods. And then one is, a popular store here in Airdrie. Okay, actually 3. And then there's a smaller African Ghanaian, type store. So that's 2 stores and 1 individual that sells African foods. And compared to Toronto, the African food stores are even more expensive here. So having the opportunity to be in Nigeria and being able to like come back with food stuff wasn't something that I was going to take for granted, So as expected, I knew that I was going to be coming back with food stuff, and so I didn't go to Nigeria with a lot of clothes, just to like allow me allowance for all that stuff. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how the things that I brought, first of all, and if you're wondering like what's allowed into Canada in terms of food items, I'm going to also be sharing that with you, and the best way to actually package your food so that you don't have any trouble passing through customs, on arrival to Canada. First of all, let me tell you this. Days ago when I posted on my Instagram story like some of the food items that I brought, people were like, how? You came with this? Hey, Nigerians. Like, some people were shading me. Some people were like, wow, good job. And then I just figured, like, with the questions I was getting, I just figured that people actually do not know what's legal to bring in. And I'm like, I didn't do anything illegal. There's nothing I've brought here that's not allowed. So I was telling people that actually this is allowed as long as you do it like this, and we're like, wow, okay, that's good to know. So I just wanted to bring that here on YouTube, where like the audience is larger for people who don't know, and for some people it might not even be a topic at all because they are not even thinking about it, but maybe now they'll be able to think about it differently. Like, okay, I think I can actually embrace the idea of bringing, a taste of Africa back to Canada or the US or wherever you live. So let's jump right into this, and then I'll explain how you can actually like package these items when you're coming to Canada. I think I'm going to move these things. So the items are actually in front of me on the table, but I think I'm going to move them to the island just so that you can have like a more closer look. So give me 1 minute to do that. First, before I show you the main items on the island, I'm going to show you what's in the back, because I don't want to move it because I've cleaned this place and it's going to leave dirt. So I'll just go in the back and show you. So I wanted to show you these. The biggest question I had was, how did you bring yams through customs? How did you bring yams to Canada? As you can see, these are really big yams, and I brought 3 of them. You can see that we've already almost gone through one. And people were like, why? How did you bring yams, And I was just like, first of all, it's not illegal to bring yams to Canada. Second of all, yams are very, very expensive here, and you don't get like really, really good ones. If you're lucky to find like yams in every African store, chances are that some of them have lived through their lifetime, and by the time they get to your home, they are not even good anymore. So I decided to bring yams. So the most shocking thing about these yams is how much they cost. So in Canadian equivalent, they cost about $8 something. So less than $9. Now imagine buying 3 yams as big as this for that price. You will never be able to find anything like that in Canada. Even in the cheapest of places. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to take the chance to bring them. It's so worth it. I know that it's heavy, it takes up space in the bag, but what I did was I put them in dirty laundry that I had. I separated them in 2 bags, and that was how I came with them. Now let's go on the island to see the other items that I had in my bag. Now, first of all, let's talk about this section. So here I have just cooking seasonings, and it's just different flavors for jollof, for soup, for chicken, and things like that. So all of these are sealed, none is open. So what I'm going to say is make sure all of your items are sealed first of all if you're going to be traveling with them. If maybe there's any bag that's open, find a Ziploc bag and put them in a clear bag. Now this is my favorite curry masala spice I use for my special recipe rice I call pepper rice. Getting 2 of these was something I had to do because I mean they last long, but I had to get 2 so that it lasts me like the whole year. And one thing I always do is check the expiry date of items because I want them to last at least 1 year. Now what's next in this bag is just again seasoning spices. I have some Nigerian made curry thyme. I really like the flavor of these ones. So I just got a few. Again, seasoning cubes for soup, for jollof, for stew, and things like that. So I just put everything in a clear bag so that it's visible to whoever sees them. Again, that's the trick. Make sure everything that you're carrying is visible. Next is some blended egusi. So egusi is a Nigerian melon. We use it for cooking egusi soup, which is one of our, popular soups in Nigeria. Lots of cultures cook egusi soup, and this is the blended one. I blended it so that it'll be easy for me to, carry and use as I want. And what I just did was seal the top of it so it doesn't spill, right? So this is egusi. Actually, I have a video where I was in the market shopping for all of this stuff. I'm going to post it sometime so you can see what my shopping experience was like in the market. I bought most of this, not most actually, some of them from the open market in Nigeria. And yeah, I'll post that video soon. Next up is gari. I brought 2 bags of gari. One thing you have to know is when you're bringing food into Canada, it has to be obvious that they are personal items. You cannot bring, a ton of food and make it seem like you want to sell them. So it's a different ball game if you have to sell food. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but you have to use a cargo service or something like that. If you want to carry food, there is a certain limit for different countries. So you can go on Google and just type food items and quantity that's allowed in Canada, and you see a list of all the food items and the quantity that's allowed. So you not going beyond your limit and making sure that the foods are properly packaged is one way to avoid having trouble with customs. Now, this section has fish for the most part. I brought a lot of fish because I really like my dry fish. So I bought smoked catfish from a vendor on Instagram. So how they do it is, like the one you buy from the open market, there are chances that, there'll be sand and dust and all of that stuff. So what I did was I went on Instagram to find this vendor that we had used in the past, my mom had used in the past. They actually package like food stuff and deliver to you. So that's another way, if you're not traveling, another way you can bring food stuff into Canada. You can go through like these cargo services. They'll do the shopping for you, and some of them already have like packaged products like these. They will, have everything sealed and properly packaged, and you can buy them like this. I purchased this fish for 25,000 naira. So there are 10 pieces in each bag, and there are 5 bags. So that's 50 pieces in total for 25,000 naira. I think that's really affordable considering that the fish is clean. It's not a big size, but the fact that it's just like clean, it's well preserved already. I mean, no preservatives, but the way it's dry, it can last for a really long time. I've had this in this bag for almost 2 weeks now, and I've not had to like re-dry them. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to preserve them, maybe in the freezer, or if I'm going to clean somehow and put them in the fridge, like just put them in maybe freezer bags in the way I'm going to use them eventually. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, they're going to stay out here, and I've been using them. So I've almost used up one bag. It tastes really good. I really like that there is no sand. I don't have to worry about any dirt. It's just so easy to clean, and I'm very happy so far. Next up is these dried tatashe. So these are called tatashe in Nigeria, but this is dried shepherd pepper. I think that's what they are in Canada here. I bought this dried one because like they transform the flavor of your soup or stew, and sometimes I just really like that local flavor in my cooking, so that's why I brought this. You have to make sure that your food is properly packaged in such a way that they don't smell. A lot of the time when your bag or your luggage is flat, it's probably because there's something that's not properly packaged, maybe smelling. Whether you like it or not, all of these bags pass through like a scanning process, and when they feel like there's something in it, then your bag gets flagged. So people who have like God forbid, if you're unfortunate and somebody puts drugs in your fish and then you pass it through customs, the scanning will be able to detect that, okay, it's not just fish that's in this bag, right? But if it's just fish, then you have nothing to worry about. I saw a video where the Nigerian customs opened golden mon, which I actually have here, because my kids really enjoyed golden mon whilst they were in Nigeria, so I brought a ton of them. So they had put like drugs in golden mon, and they were able to detect that, and voila, that was the end. So next is stockfish. Now we know that stockfish smells a lot. I bought these 2 bags for almost 7,000 naira. I just bought like a mix of the ears and the flesh. They cost almost 7,000 naira, which I think is fair considering the prices of stockfish now in the market. And again, make sure they are in clear bags and they are properly sealed. They were taped so they don't smell. Another trick that I was taught was when you're packing stockfish, try to put coffee in the midst of it, because it suppresses the odor. So I brought Nescafe. Actually, they're like more than this, but I think my husband already took some. So I just stuffed them in the bag to suppress the smell, even though it wasn't really smelling. Next is crayfish. So I have a bunch of crayfish here. Again, because I know that I'm going to be traveling with crayfish and I don't want it to smell, I bought it from the same vendor actually where I bought the catfish from. So see, it's sealed, properly sealed in clear bags. So this way, no single smell at all, right? So no trouble with customs. And then my mom had already bought these for me without me knowing. I went to do my own shopping. So I just picked 3 of what my mom got, and then I bought 3 of my own. So Um, this crayfish is really clean, it tastes good, and I like that I don't have to worry about picking out dirt. That's one of the reasons why I didn't buy from the open market. The next one is this dry pepper. I like my dry chili. I just like to put it in my stew if I'm making like local stew alongside these and tomatoes, oof, with some palm oil. I like palm oil stew, and then with some dry fish. Actually, I bought some pala fish. I already washed them and put them in the freezer frozen, but I will see if I can actually get a picture of what it looked like before I froze them. Now next, I brought some Milo. All of these are already packed, so no need to worry. And then I brought some Nigerian milk. Now we're not used to eating like consuming milk in the house, but there are times when I actually crave, and I don't have access to like that Nigerian milk. Everything made in Nigeria tastes so differently, right? So I really like the flavor of the Nigerian milk. So I just bought two packs just in case. So these are 800 grams, so about almost 1 kg. I just bought two of them. This is just for times when we want to make something with cream and we want that rich Nigerian flavor that's in milk, that's in a Nigerian milk. So really, that's everything. There are other things I came with, but not really food items. But like, I wanted to really show you, especially like how these food items are packaged, and that if you have thoughts of bringing food into Canada, you're okay, you're fine. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing illegal about that. So yeah, I hope you find this video helpful. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave today. Please feel free to watch some other videos that I've made. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.